Brought to you by Penguin.
The Making of Us by Jewell. Read by Laura Aikman. This book is dedicated to Sarah and Elliot Bailey. 1979. Glenys. Glenys Pike was 35 years old. She had long dark hair and a neck like a swan. Her husband was called Trevor and was 5 years younger than her. The idea was that he would keep her feeling young. The truth was that the fact that he had not yet reached his 30th birthday made her feel about as old as her grandmother. Trevor, meanwhile, still had all the swagger and sway of a young man, his hair a fat plume of mahogany, his stomach as smooth and hard as set cement. He lived like a young man, too. Still went to clubs with his mates until the early hours. Last summer, he'd even taken a Club 18 to 30 holiday, just because he could. Trevor was fit and strong, and smoked a cigarette like a cowboy. Trevor was a god. But Trevor was also, Glenys had just learned, shooting blanks. Well, she didn't know that for a fact. God, no. Trevor Pike would never wank into a jar, not for anyone, least of all a female doctor. But she had to assume it because there was nothing wrong with her, nothing whatsoever. 5 years they'd been trying to make a baby. 5 years of phantom symptoms and 2-week waits and false hopes and lying with her bloody legs in the bloody air after bloody sex and nothing. Not even a miscarriage to show for it. And this morning she'd been to see a doctor up at the fertility unit for some results, and there it was, plain as your face. Perfect working order. "What about your husband, Mrs. Pike? Has he been to see us for tests?" Glenys had snorted laughter out of her nose. "God, no," she'd said. "I don't think my husband even knows that there's such a thing as male infertility." "Macho man?" asked the doctor. "Handsome," agreed Glenys. "Party animal, good time guy, carouser." "Well," the doctor had sighed, and leaned back into a chair as though she'd heard it all before 1,000 times. "In that case, I suggest you try and change his lifestyle. If he's living that kind of life, it's probably not doing his sperm any good. Does he smoke? 40 a day. Drink? 40 a day." Glenys had grinned. "Just kidding, though some Saturday nights probably not far off." "Healthy diet? Chips? Are they healthy?" Glenys winked at the doctor, who just blinked back at her unsmilingly. "No," she continued, somewhat unnecessarily. "I'm just kidding with you. He does like his chips, but he likes pasta too. His grandmother was Italian, says it's in his blood. And he does like 2 veg, peas, potatoes, carrots. He always eats his veg." "Exercise?" "He's fit, I'd say. He plays football of a Sunday. He walks to work. He's got amazing stamina, when we're at it. Well, anyway." The doctor ignored the unwanted insight into her patient's love life. "It sounds like there is plenty of room for improvement. Try a bit for another 6 months or so, no smoking, no drinking, and if there's still no change, we'll have to get your husband in for tests." "6 months?" Glenys had squeaked. "But in 6 months I'll be 36. I thought I was going to be a grandmother by the time I was 36. I can't wait 6 months. My eggs!" "Your eggs are fine," the doctor had reassured her. "You are fine. If you can just get your husband to change his lifestyle. Oh, yes, and no tight trousers, no tight underwear. You'll need to get him some cotton boxers." Glenys had snorted again at the thought of her Trevor in cotton boxers. Trevor was proud of his packet. He wanted people to be able to admire it, not cover it up in baggy old vicar knickers, and rightly so. "You know," she said to the doctor, "I know my husband, and I know for a fact that he won't go for any of this stuff. He won't go for baggy pants and no fags. In fact, it's the tight pants and the fags that make him feel like a man." The doctor leaned across the desk towards her. "Well then," she said, "you might need to start thinking about some other options." "Options? What sort of options?" The doctor sighed. "Well," she said, ticking them off on long fingers. "Fertility tests."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?